Welcome. I'm Will Forge, and today we will forge. Okay, so yeah, we got some stuff done yesterday on this building here. Looks pretty good. I had some questions. I was hoping to get some viewers in that can answer for me what they think about it, because the way I have it looking right now makes it kind of look like a magnetic accelerator cannon. But we're gonna get back to that in a second whenever I get some viewers in. I'm gonna ask that question once I have some people that are here ready to let me know what they think, because you know, hardly anyone's in right now, then I don't know yet. But anyway, okay. So instead, while we wait for people to join, I'm probably going to come over here and do this one, and I think I might have to redesign it because, like, it's a solid building right now, and I don't know if that's the best decision. Because I keep on looking at it this whole time. I'm kind of annoyed with the way it looks. I'm kind of like, it's alright. Like, I like the idea of some of these things, like the way the doorway is, but then there are great gaps. And then I like the idea of having like a doorway up top and stuff like that. And like maybe a balcony out here, but like, I don't know. It loses the ability to fit underneath its footprint whenever it moves up, you know what I mean? So what I was thinking was redesigning it, maybe putting that, like grabbing this and doing something more like this in some way. I'm not snapping anything, but just to show you. Like that, so that I'd have room for a balcony underneath the footprint right there. And then have it to where I could have a catwalk going around the backside. Like I said, not literally like this. I'd probably have to like actually angle it more like this, so that whenever I put it in place, it dodges the hole at the top. You see? And basically would allow me to have like an area around here that would wrap around. And then, like, you know, some catwalk stuff. Basically, this could be very, like, this one is like, there's catwalk behind the structure. But over here could be, like, an actual, like, staircase, you know, catwalk underneath. It'd be inside of the structure. And then down here, this is more of, like, a full-blown entryway building. So to kind of give this idea of the difference between Oni versus, you know, UNSC. You're gonna have to wait. Okay. Is what Aaron just said. I'm reading something from chat. I know that seemed random what I just said. But yeah. You're gonna have to wait. Okay. Let's see. Let me know whenever you're in chat, Aaron, because I did have this question. I was wondering about this this structure that I was just talking about. I want to know if you what you think about the redesign of these columns. How it used to be they were lined up and they were going to be like dodge between them for tanks, but the way that I've redesigned it looks kind of cool. It makes sense, like logically, but yeah. And the way that they are now, it actually might make sense to flip them over. Like if I did them not like this, but more like this, and then move them away. Go on. Okay. So here's the idea, is to make these look like they are a magnetic accelerator cannon's rail system. Forge is too frustrating to use right now. 343 needs to start putting more love into Forge. Quick fixes. They don't look UNSC. These spires don't? I mean, they kind of do. They got these, like, weird, you know, systems here. But I was going to add to them, so yeah, you're right. I was going to add one more piece to each of them to try. I was going to find a good piece to add to them that will make them look like UNSC. But the idea is that they're magnetic accelerators that will launch your ship so that you don't need the... Remember in Halo Reach, they had those added-on components. Sabers can't get into space without those additional, you know, fuel tanks and rockets that are multiple stage, you know, rockets. That's how they get into space, to where they can actually get up there to fight. And these engines are just, you know, maneuvering engines for once they get up there. They'd run out of fuel too quick if they didn't have those additional rockets. So the idea here is that they decided that they got around that. You know, they built the Infinity, so they have Forerunner technology. They use Forerunner like reverse engineered inertial dampeners on the people that are inside the the cockpit, so now they can go faster. And so now they can accelerate really fast without killing the person inside. So that's where these come into play. They actually are just magnetic accelerator cannons that just go boom, launch you straight into space. And this is all like an experimental new version of the Saber kind of thing, is the idea. So the point is to make this look like a magnetic accelerator cannon. And I feel like if I do this and then add something to the top, Twitter finally decided to work. Oh, nice. What was wrong with Twitter? Were you trying to send me something in Twitter? Or was it just like in general, Twitter just wasn't working on your new computer? But yeah, so that's the idea. So I'd add something to this to make it look less Forerunner, that's just got a new coat of paint, and more like, you know, UNSC. But yeah. Okay, well, YouTube's dying. YouTube is dying? As in, like, I'll be in and out because Wi-Fi. Oh, right, you were telling me that earlier. Yeah. What's up with this thing? Is this thing's rotation off? Ah, it sure is. Let's see. Where is it and what happened to it? Okay, hold on. Okay, I gotta flip it upside down this way. That's really frustrating. I don't know why this randomly got rotated differently. This one is too. And that one. It only happened to these objects. These are the things I was dealing with at the end of the day. It's possible that what happened was that they, there was some kind of bug involving them in particular. Whoops. I went and reset its rotation again. Let's fix it one more time. I hope its location wasn't too messed up, because I had lined them up and, you know, snapped them to an object, so... Okay, why is it that weird angle? Clearly not on object anymore. There we go. Alright, so like I had it originally like this, where it just kind of go up and get wider like a crown, but I was thinking about instead doing it to where, like you see over there, something more akin to... I'm going to have to realign these anyway, because they all got messed up with their rotations. So if I do this, then it puts like this stuff on the inside and makes it look like maybe that's part of the mechanism for firing, like the magnetic system, which I like the look of that. It also makes it thinner at the base, so it won't cover up as much of the ladder and other areas. And if I make it do this thinner portion at the very base, I can even make it look like this is in fact some kind of rail that it rides along to move into position, or something to that effect. All I gotta do is add something round to the bottom there. So I'm kind of liking that I can actually... Well, actually I could move it over to here even. If I just put it at the top of the ramp. No, it doesn't really feel like it's grabbing the actual thing. Let's see. Looks pretty good. And then that would mean these giant cooling, you know, these ducts would, instead of being something that's redirecting the rockets from here, that would be how it cools off these coils after it fires. You know, it's magnetic accelerators, they get real hot. You have to have some major, you know, like liquid cooling systems and stuff like that to immediately cool them down, or else you're kind of screwed. So that would be pretty interesting. And I could get in really close to these, to the system, and it would look like it was... yeah, that kind of looks like a good magnetic accelerator now that I've got it all lined up. I kind of like that, to be honest. I do have to figure out what's going on with this, though, because I just set that to concrete because I was having that trouble with the textures at the time. So there's no telling what I should do there now. But some kind of techie bit would be good. I think I need to put some UNSC tech on it somehow. I need to get some UNSC tech panels and apply them to this thing in some way. And I think that would be the best way to, unless I can find a single piece that will just like add a whole lot to each of these. I do still have several pieces up here I never used that I was like really interested in using. I could add something to it. Let's see. This, for example, would be good. It doesn't mirror, but if it's one of those things where they're like, yeah, no. Let's see. Go back to world rotation because it's being annoying. Let's see. It's not quite big enough. I don't think that's a good enough one because I got to make this dynamic to be able to come up out of the ground. So, yeah, I mean, that might be cool, but it's kind of like, no, it needs to be something much larger. I just deleted that thing, so I don't have it as my example. But anyway, okay. I could look at antennas. There are some antennas that look really cool. I don't think that they're going to be the right way to go, but we're going to take a look at them anyway, because they can potentially, you know, have some pretty decent tech-looking parts in them. No, we're not going to go do that. But we are going to go like this. Okay, we are going to put an antenna somewhere because I do like... See, that's the one we used on the Oni building. Let's use something more rounded. Oh, that's weird. Don't know why it went into the ground. I like the idea of having something for communicating with things like, you know, air control. So let's go ahead and plop one of these down. Don't know if that's where it's going to be. That's just randomly plopped it there thinking that'd be a good spot, but that's probably not. I might be able to, you know what I might do? I might add a little bit to this part on one side, on the outside here, and make it, and make this one a little bit longer, and then put the antenna connection and communications there. Might be pretty good. But anyway, let's go. So we're not doing antenna for these, you know, rails. Let's go off of, let's see, we got city props, which have some good things like this, which would be a pretty decent large piece. Let's see how big it is. Yeah, it's real big. Good. If it goes on here and looks like a cooling system, because it's an AC, it's a rooftop air conditioner. So if we can use this on here some way, obviously not like this, it's not going to be a T-shaped, a teed off thing. We need to have it like, more like, well, it's close to the right size, but given that it's not, like, if I make this a dynamic object, messed up its rotation by having it be dynamic. Okay. Yeah, that's not quite what we're going for here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and find something a little smaller, but a little, like, that's kind of big, but a little bit smaller than that. By the way, these will make great scaffolding and things like that a lot of the time on the back. I was hoping to turn these into, like doors that would open up for the buildings to come out of at the very beginning of the structure's idea and stuff. But the problem is that just, well, first off, whenever they rotate out, they'd be like, oh yeah, it's open, and now there's a warthog billboard on the inside. Okay, my stuff's loading now. Awesome, awesome. And then it's just got a warthog on the inside, so that's not very good. So I was like, nah, not gonna worry about that. Okay, we got a ladder, we got a hose, we got soda and vending machines, lockers, crate pallets. Yeah, this is, there's some things here and there that, let's see, this is where we got that ventilation thing. What's this look like? Ooh, that would make it look very UNSC if it fits. Is it smaller, or it's even bigger than the other piece? That's not what we want. It would be interesting to put this somewhere down here, though. Like, hear me out. What if that's there, and we put in the ground another, like a groove going through, akin to, like, these ramp kind of style things, which I might not do the ramp because I'm going to have this here, but, we'll see. We'll see what I can do. Or I might move these back, because these could technically move back a little further here to line up with that corner, for example. In which case, you would see it more like, is this thing's rotation wrong? No, that's right. Is this one? Oh, am I looking at the wrong thing? Ah, this one's rotation got messed up. I was like, there's no way that weird like little gap is there. Oh, come on now, what you doing? Okay, well, that's annoying. Alright, so I believed I just snapped this in like this and it happened to line up right. Yes, it did. Okay, cool. So this thing can be further in like this, which puts enough of a gap there to do that. And I can do that on both sides and probably have to fix some stuff. How many other pieces are... This one's rotation is messed up. Jesus. I swear. Forge sometimes just does not want to work. Let's see, that was not the corner I was trying to snap to. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so if we got this here, right, and we put like a groove coming out, we could even make it a groove going out all the way to the thing, like literally make a little ravine there, and then put like a little catwalk over it, like a gate style catwalk. That might have some, like, since this will be like in the actual in the structure that doesn't have to move up and down, I can like scale things, so I'll be able to like put like a gate there and all that stuff. I think that'd be a good idea. Anyway, okay, and like some reinforcing, like, you know, rails for the vehicles to drive across, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so if your stuff is working, then let me know what you think about this. What I'm doing right now is trying to find something that will, let's see, is this the right width? This would be the right width, but it's not. Let's see. If I go with this, it's the just right width, I'm pretty sure, but it's going to kind of, okay, hold on. None of these pieces, none of these things are lined up. Okay. Yeah, it's way too short though. Like, it's not, I need something tall that will add a bunch of UNSC feeling tech to it. Window, facade. Yeah, it's literally just looks like a window. Okay. So, I don't think that's gonna work. Do we have any, fancy machinery in here? We do. Plated half cover. That might work. Let's try that. I'm literally just trying to find anything that will fit at this point, that will look good in that position. Yeah, this is too small. If I put too many objects on this thing just to make it look good, it's going to end up taking up a ton of my budget. And that's not what I want either. I mean, like this, for example, being like this, and like lining up those bolts with that sort of stripe there would actually kind of start to look good, especially if I adjust the height. I think it should be like around there. Would feel kind of good, but the problem is, first off, on this side it doesn't look like that at all, and it's just, yeah, no good. I need something that can clip through on both sides, but not too far, like that other piece would. Destructibles, ducts. Yeah, this is just the ducts. I don't think there's anything weird in here. Oh, there is this support. That's a very useful piece, by the way. Okay. As for, by the way, the fences I was talking about, since I'm in the thing right now. Whoa, that's weird. It like repeats the pattern whenever you do that. Okay. So basically what I was thinking was I could put a fence down right here like we have at the main base, and then put something solid going through it, scale it, you know, because this doesn't have to go up and down. And then put solid rails going through it. That would be where the tires of these kinds of vehicles would drive over. But anyway. Okay. But we're not doing that right this second. We're going to go down here. Glass, missiles. Missiles might be a good missile platform. That would look good whenever clipped into it. There's only the one missile platform. And I doubt that this is going to look any good. But we will see. Does add a bit of like the wiring to the back, which is kind of cool. Way too big. Yeah, if I put this in here, it will just look like there's missile launchers built into this thing. I think it would just feel like missile launchers. Unless I maybe flipped it over. Actually, what if I flipped it over and turned it around? Made it look like these are the magnets, right? And put the cables poking up out of the top. So the spire actually has them poking up. Okay, this is starting to look like it could work, to be honest. That doesn't look good. I'd have to arrange it so that from below, when you look up at it, there's no major weird clipping. Something like... well, it need to be like centered that way. Which means I need to get the, I was thinking these holes I might be able to look like, if I have one more piece in front of these holes, I can make them look like exhaust ports. And if I do, then I could find something that will hide that one little bit of bad clipping right there. And then... okay, let's see. Okay, I haven't made this into a dynamic object yet, so I'm going to make one dynamic, reset its rotation because, you know, obviously you got to do that to deal with bugs, and then magnetically snap it into this one, and then duplicate that and do this, wait, this way, and find the exact same spot over here. Actually hides that texture that I was kind of liking, but that's okay because it might be the solution that makes this actually work. So it would be worth it. This needs to come up apparently. Apparently this one came down a bit whenever I reset the rotation. Gotta snap it in there so I've got the right height. This could actually work. Let's see what it looks like with all three of them. Why is this one showing barrels? Oh, right. These rails aren't all at the same height. So this actually needs to come down is the problem. That's roughly correct. Okay, that'll give me an idea of what this looks like. Let's try and keep going. And obviously I can change colors as well. This thing hasn't been optimized for this situation yet. I do like the big old yellow cables. I think that makes it look like, hey, warning, this is something highly electric, you know what I mean? Like, that I do like a lot. But let's see. Okay. So it would look something like this to you from below. Okay, let's unify them with the color palettes. I don't have any black in this, but I do have the green. Let's go to the let's go here to the paint is probably the one I'm looking for. Yes, got to do that big green style like that. Make it look like it's part of the same structure. I actually kind of like that. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? I'm hitting something invisible. Let's see. And then I think the one thing that's missing, let's see, is this static or dynamic? This would be my dynamic one. Dynamic. Dynamic. Still dynamic. Static. There we go. We can delete that one. Let's see. Yeah, not feeling it. Looks more Forerunner painted green than UNSC. Then I think I know what to do. I think I know exactly what to do then. We need some cables. We need some cables dangling from this thing and making you feel like, oh, yeah, it's connected. It's machinery. It's UNSC machinery. You know what I mean? Let's do this one. We can find a good spot to attach it over here. I have not set this to dynamic, and it's going to get all wonky. Okay, here we go. This one doesn't need to have a perfect, like, angle or anything, so we can just adjust it and then watch it, and then make it work, rather than having to worry about, you know, craziness. Okay, let's see. Need some cables, we need some stuff to attach it, and I need it to connect to this piece, not to that one. I need this to feel like it's got UNSC machines inside, you know what I mean? So I need to have... doing away with the idea of the, you know, of them moving. I can tether them together with, you know, attaching components like cables. Very low-tech looking. Not too low-tech, just not Forerunner. Okay, so there is... I don't understand why this is here, raised up in the middle, and I don't know that I can actually use this one, because that looks kind of goofy. I was looking so close about the ends and how they connect together. That's kind of like, why is this thing snaking through the sky like this? Doesn't make any sense. I'm going to have to put some kind of, like, tower... or like spire to sort of hold that up. I don't know if that's going to work. These are things that kind of go alongside walls. Why don't they have a single dangling one? You know what I mean? Like, why is there not a, like, that seems like obvious. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's this one. This is like the one that's just a single dangling, but it's short. They can't just put one that has just a gradual curve in it so that I can, you know, use it. Would be nice. Would be nice. Anyway, what I need... So cables, maybe not the right decision, because I just don't have the kind that I would need for that, unless I do something really weird. Let's see. Oh, let me check wires multiplayer. Like MP, I don't think that that's going to be anything different, but... Okay, well, one thing I could do is is this one. And I could theoretically have it snaking along the side of the piece, but it's so small, so subtle. From back here, you're not even gonna notice it. It needs to be something really big. Because, like, okay, if you're in the weeds, if you're like right next to this, you're not gonna notice it looks like a Forerunner structure. It's gonna look like a, you know, big green style UNSC stuff. But what you're talking about is like from back here. So I need something big that breaks up the shape. If you're saying it still looks too Forerunner, then I need something large that's going to completely break up the shape. Something that also looks integrated, like I could put a terminal, like a control panel next to it or something like that, or something to that effect, but it won't look like it's part of the structure. So that's not what we're going for. So I need to go into UNSC and just start looking through the detail stuff that I've got. Oh, I was talking about using this. Maybe this will be my saving grace here to make it work. Let's see. Alright, so this thing's big and mechanical, and it's got a computer terminal on it, so whenever you're down low, it could even have the detail work that we need. if we had this built into the base, it suddenly starts to look a little less Forerunner, as you can see. You can immediately see that it doesn't look like it's hovering off of a lack of supports. I think that was one of the main things that was making it feel that way. Not like, you know, obviously, but sort of intuitively. So I think that what I need to do is figure out how to connect this in where it makes sense with the actual geometry of these two pieces, to where they kind of both make sense, and they both, like, they complement each other. Okay, we got that. We got that, which goes into allowing this weld line. That is a huge weld line. Wow, didn't even notice that in the texture whenever I put it on there. That is a massive, like, very, like, ripply weld line there. That's interesting. That's kind of cool looking. I like how it adds that, and then there's this panel here. Like, they had to really bolt this thing together. Not bolt, weld this thing together. Okay, let's see. We gotta give our colors, of course. Gotta have our Marines big green style. Well, our UNSC big green style. And we got the gray already matching. That's looking... Those angles aren't UNSC. I mean, they kind of are. They're... I mean... You know, some of these pieces are UNSC pieces and they're getting similar angles, but... let's see. They're just not, that's super UNSC. Oh! Oh, I know what's wrong. Yeah. Okay, and I can do it too. I know exactly what's wrong. Yeah, okay. We need to go back. We need to go to supports. And we need some reinforcements here. That's what's going on. That's what's going wrong here. Actually, this would be a kind of cool piece to add to it if it works out. Let's see. Oops. This could easily add... Oh my gosh, why is it... Oh, because we're going 5 degrees. I see. It's like, why am I having so much trouble with this? This could be a very nice detailed piece that comes down the shape, right? And then feeds into... What I'm actually thinking about is something more like this, which is straight up a UNSC piece, so it should add a, you know, lend a bit of UNSC to this, and we reinforce this thing to where it doesn't float so much. You know what I mean? This is way too big. It's covering up the staircase. It's enormous. It's not what I'm going for. But this kind of thing. I mean, maybe if I put it into the ground, but it's still covering up the staircase. That's not going to work. Let's see, something that will look like... We got scaffolding pieces here. That one's used over there. I could try to repeat that pattern, but I think what I want to go for is actually... it's all one thing. Okay, well, I need to undo that. That was whenever I was copying it over to the other side of the map, so it doesn't really need to be that way anymore. Grab one of these. Let's see, we got to find out how large it is whenever we switch it to dynamic. See, well, I mean, the fact that it says Forerunner on the object name says otherwise. I understand that, but reusing pieces for other things is one of the ways that you make things work, and you can make original content. Someone used a dumpster for a windowsill in you know, someone used an actual, like a literal dumpster piece for a windowsill in one of the maps that became an official map. Like, that's... It said dumpster on the title, but he uses a windowsill. It works whenever you do that kind of thing. So I'm trying to utilize that. All you gotta do is dress it up. The only reason this is hard, like, it'd be really easy to make this look non-UNSC or non-Forerunner if you retexture it and then you can also scale it. But because I can't scale it, because I'm doing dynamic objects only, I'm kind of stuck with whatever it looks like. Okay, it still covers too much of the staircase. I have to move it over here, which makes it start to poke up through the middle, so I have to move it down and just have it go into the ground, I suppose. Now I'm wondering if I shouldn't make a lower area in the front. Like, having a lower areas breaks up the idea of it just being a flat plane that these buildings rise up out of. So So I honestly don't think it is looking to... Okay, we can do that, or we can flip it over, which would be more of a let's support our angle situation rather than... Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's actually line it up though, so it actually does look good, not just pretty good. Let's see. So now it is no longer that angle. Now it is this, you know, now it's, now the shape is this angle, and then it comes up from there. And this side has a steeper angle because it's part of the pieces that are involving this. And we're now looking at what looks like an enormous magnetic accelerator cannon. And if I did use this thing, let's go put this over there and see how that would meld into it. Now it's got an actual scaffolding crisscross pattern to reinforce it, and now it looks UNSC. I wouldn't believe you if you still sold me that you thought this looked Forerunner at this point. What do you think? Like, there's no way this looks Forerunner. This looks like something that would be on a UNSC ship. You know what I mean? Like on the, like this could be a nacelle, like one of the engines coming off of the back of a small like frigate, smaller than the an amber-clad style frigate, but like something really small. You know what I mean? And I like that it's like adding like pipes to it, which this is actually like a handlebar style thing, but it kind of looks like pipes or cabling because of the way it's set up. I'm definitely not going to be able to do this cable. That looks kind of weird with it going up and down and stuff. It's something I could probably put coming down the side of it, but I'm not going to do that. This is also not, of course, any kind of unifying code. It's static. Yeah, I need to not forget to set these things up as static. Or as hey, its rotation didn't get messed up. That's good. I almost don't trust that. Let's see. I don't know what is changing color here. It doesn't look like it's the main... It is. Okay, cool. I almost wonder at this point if I even need that. Yeah, I do. It makes the top not look like a piece of concrete. It's kind of necessary. Let's see. Because it was set to concrete texture, I do need to change that a bit. Let's see. Alright. So now that I've got that technically I can move this over and make it connect into this here a little bit, but we will see what I want to do there. Let's turn the music back on before it, since it paused on us. There we go. But yeah, okay, so if I do that for all three of them, you know what? This wing would clip that thing. Just boom. Just explode. We need to back it up a little bit. Oh, this one's fine. This one has the distance, the clearance. And if we assume it has to have that clearance, like it needs perfect clearance, you know what I mean? And they expect the perfect clearance. Ooh, that's a little weird. We'll have to bring this up, apparently. So that doesn't quite... That looks kind of cool, to be honest. Let's make sure it lines up with all of the pieces there. But, like, if you were here, that now adds a layer of, like, detail work, but it kind of gets in the way of getting up the staircase. So, like, all of this art stuff on this thing is kind of... needs to make sure... I need to make sure I line it up properly. With everything else. The scaffolding... Like, the entire structure may need to be a little bit... Like, I could bring this out further and then move all of these rails just a little... And the ship itself a little bit out, you know? And then put some kind of... I still have to put something here that looks like it's kind of hanging on it. Like the landing pad is, like, latched into something. But But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, like you said. Okay. What does this look like up top now? Yeah, that doesn't clip into the gray part, so it actually looks okay that way. Do I still have that little hose? Unfortunately, I don't have that hose up here anymore. It's not really visible, but down here is more important anyway. For it to have the, those pieces there. It's also probably not perfectly centered side to side to this piece. And, yeah. So I think what I need to do, the best bet for making all dynamic object things like this that you want to repeat is to turn it into a prefab and save the prefab off. So I'm going to try to center it as perfectly as I can. Either this isn't centered or the other piece isn't centered, but let's see. Okay, we got a little bit of a gap there, and no gap over there. Okay, yeah. We can kind of use that center line there to line it up, actually. Okay, so then... will it work over here exactly centered now? That ring is going in there, and it's kind of poking out on this side. Is this thing mirrored? I don't think it is. So I think that the reason it doesn't look centered is because this piece is not actually perfectly symmetrical, so I don't think it needs to line up flawlessly. It just needs to look good from down here, where we will actually see it up close. Flying vehicles will see it up close up top, but that's not the end of the world. Mainly want that cable to not look like it's inside of the other column. Ooh, double cable. Okay, I kind of like that it's poking out and not symmetrical now. I think I like it that way, because I really like how those pipes are. Looks pretty good. Although I could line it up top and then move this piece non-centered, but yeah. So you get in there, yummy chippies. Oh, you got some chips? Wait, fries. You have French fries, don't you? Those, you're probably not talking about like potato chips, like Americans would call them. You're talking about... okay, there we go. Am I right by that? Okay, let's see. So now we got that lined up. Let's finalize this piece, because I don't know how much of this column I want poking out. I think I want this mostly underground. Like where that slopes there. In which case I need to raise this back up. Let's see. Thick cut chippies. Here we go. There we go. That's pretty good. And how does it interact with this stuff? Well, it certainly doesn't work with this cable. I am wondering about these cables, if there's a way to like incorporate them here or something. You know what I mean? Like coming up from this computer terminal and them not look like they're dangling in the wrong way, because they're mostly dangling in the wrong way, but because of the way they'd be clipping into it that way, it kind of just makes it look like two curved cables clipping in intentionally in a different position. You know what I mean? Like they're actually not like they're not. It's not one cable that's dangling weirdly. It's actually two cables, one of them dangling that way and one of them dangling that way, and they're just connected into the terminal. And the way that works up there is okay. I almost kind of like that. It definitely feels a little bit weird with the arch here. So I need to bring it back so it looks like it's tied to the wall in some way, but I don't want to actually put use any more of my budget on putting a piece there to hold it in place. So I'm just going to sort of hope it looks like it's connected, and we'll see how that actually turns out. Why is it moving like this. Ugh. It's because I'm not on world movement. Let's see. Does America get chips from a Chinese takeaway or no? No. Well, I mean, it kind of depends. Most of the Chinese food places here are managed entirely by the people who own it, and they do whatever they want. So you could have one that does that, but whenever you have it, but most of the time they all order from the same company that like mass produces like ingredients for Chinese food restaurants, which is, you know, basically it's pretty straightforward. But they so I don't know. You might be able to find like potato chips. I don't know if they would make French fries though. I don't think they would, because everyone would say, "Why do you have French fries at a Chinese food place?" And then not even realizing they were invented by, I believe, I know Americans invented the potato chip, but I can't remember who invented the actual French fries. And I want to say it was also American, so we just called them French fries, but I could be wrong. Oh wait, that's my green. Even I see dark metal. That's the one that I think I want to change. Why is it not? And then I've got to go here. But yeah, basically, there's all manner of things that don't make any sense with the way we name things in America, though. Chippies are the only things I like from Chinese takeouts. Do they like cook it differently, like using different kinds of like, you know, fat? Like you can use. There's a place in America that called Fat Cow. At least it's here in Louisiana, and they make these. They cook their French fries in duck fat, and it is so good. It's so good. They also put something on it. I forget what it was. Maybe just something like garlic. I don't remember what it was. Or no, it's a certain cheese. That's right. They sprinkle like a little bit of a certain cheese on there to where you can't even tell it's. They use cheese like seasoning on it. Not that I know of. Very thick though. Yeah, yeah. Is it like wedge style? Like not like a rectangle, or you know, whatever. It's like actually full blown wedge style of potato chip. I mean of French fry. Well, of chips. I guess you could just say potato chips versus chips. That's all you need to worry about. That's a good way to do between, you know, American style and otherwise. Let's see, cycle parent. I want the main column as the parent, so that it's the one that we scale, that we're moving everything with. And then I want to save it off as a, let's see, mag rail. Actually, I'll call it Mac rail. Mac rail sounds good to me. Okay. No. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, so why did the texture change? Prefabs are breaking everything. Whenever you have dynamic no, not even just dynamic objects. Remember, this one kept on changing textures because it was set as a prefab. It's like if you make a prefab now, they're broken. Those are prefabs, and they're not made more recently, so they're fine, and they never broke. But as soon as you create a new prefab and save it off, not even just save it off, I don't think I saved that one off. But whenever you make a prefab, it's just like one of them becomes pure white, like snow or something. And it just doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Let's see. They're like steak cut chips. Gotcha. Steak cut chips. So not wedges, but steak cut chips. I gotcha. That makes sense. Do y'all frequently? I know y'all probably have them at your, you know, grocery store. Like, there's no reason to at the shop. There's no reason to assume you don't have them somewhere. But do y'all have all the different kinds of weird fries we have here, like waffle fries and curly fries with seasoning on them, and like curly fries is synonymous with seasoning in America for some reason. It used to not be, but everyone's like, where's the seasoning? Because there's like there are a couple of companies that made them like that, like Jack in the Box, and then everyone's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's to me, you know, absolutely vital to have all those different kinds, because eventually you get bored of the main ones, of primary, just regular old fries, you know. But yeah. Then you also have dips, I guess, so that makes sense. Anyway, okay. Tatey wedges, curly crinkles, cut, straight, cute, or straight cut, etc. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. So we're not the only ones who have those. That's good, because those are all great. Okay, so if I put it, okay, so this should be centered with. If I did this right, then this is snapped to. It is not. So. I had it snapping well to this cube before, and I just realized what it is. It is that this is where the 3... Oh, no, it's because it's not the last piece I have selected. Okay. Oh my god. Goodbye. So long. Goodbye, rail. Okay, so we need to try that again and see if it's going to do the exact same thing again. No, but it just messed up all of the textures big time, which especially sucks with how bad the textures are bugging out right now. I'm going to verify that those are even actually saying those other things, or if they're just... Yeah, they're still set to their correct textures, but the rotations are all messed up. Wonderful. And undo is not getting rid of it. Okay, and also I can't select it now. And the game crashed. When was the last time I saved it? I really hope it just saved it. At least, oh, it won't matter because I've spent so long working on that rail and I prefabbed it, so as long as it can load in properly, I'm going to close the game and reopen it, because as long as it starts functioning correctly whenever I get back in, it won't matter that that's happening, you know? Because I'll be able to just grab the prefab and drop it right in. And that should work. Here we go. Let's see how this works. See how this works out. Let me see something. Yeah, it did. Excuse me. It did announce, in fact, that the stream was going on today. I wasn't sure. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Man, I was late getting started today. If I had started before 12, I think I would have had my regular number of viewers, because that's whenever everybody joins in, but I started like just after 12. So I think everybody had already figured out what they were going to do for their like lunch breaks and stuff, and it wasn't watch my stream. But yeah, it happens. I need to get better at that. What happened last night was that our daughter, the baby, she had the largest amount of, you know, that ever, so we just didn't, I don't want to go into detail with you eating, so I'll avoid that, but basically, yeah, it just kept us up really late, and we had to do laundry, we had to wash our sheets, well, we had to put on our backup sheets and wash our sheets, but the point is that, yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Loading in, and let's see if it's broken again. If it's still broken. Yep. Look, there's the color scheme of my entire map. Of all of the UNSC buildings on my map. I think adding on the sand is also going to help, because that column I notice is a little, it looks good, but it's very green right now. Discord. Ooh, wait. Okay. Well, I just loaded it. I'm going to check it real quick and see if it. Okay. It was before I deleted those. Okay, and before I loaded in the prefab, I think. I have no idea if it's before I micro-adjusted these. Okay, well, both pipes are visible, so that's one thing. Yeah, I think it is. This is after I micro-adjusted. Okay, and let's just try to drop in that mac rail, and then I'm gonna go check the thing. and see if it actually works out. So if this is the case and I go boom, no, it still doesn't like it. Okay, well, let's see. Ah, yes. Not my picture, but these are them. Gotcha. Yeah. In case anyone watching is curious. Yeah. We call those wedges. I don't know. You said steak cut. In America, that would be called, wedge fries, or wedge-style fries, or whatever. Or potato wedges, even, sometimes people call them. It's like, I don't know why, but yeah, they'll even call them potato wedges instead of fries at all. Yeah, depending on, like, if you go to a restaurant and you order that, they might call them potato wedges, which doesn't make any sense. But yeah. Okay, so here we go. Now, tatey wedges have skin on top. Here they would not, but I know what you're talking about. We also have a, why is that rotated? This one's not rotated, but this one, when it loads in, is immediately rotated, and that's kind of weird to me. But, is anything else messed up? Oh, everything else is messed up. The whole thing is at an angle, according to this. Am I gonna have to rebuild this thing completely from there over to here? Honestly, like, one of the things that's gonna go kind of rough with this map is when I copy this over to the other side, it's gonna be a pain in the butt with all of the bugs that are happening right now. You said what? Yeah. So, like, we have something that's like that doesn't have very much potato on it. They call potato skins. But, like, we don't leave, like, the skin on the potato practically ever. But some restaurants will leave a little bit of the skin on the potato whenever they fry them. But, like, most places completely remove the skin of the potato before they go fry them. And I think it has to do with sourcing the potato. Some potatoes have kind of, like, skin that will make you stomach. It would make your stomach sick, you know, if you eat too much of it. Because there are toxins in it. And so it really depends on which kind of potato you're pulling from, and I think that just determines which kind of which way that they cook it. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of frustrating. Like, I might have to completely, like, rebuild that exactly the same by hand over here to make it work. And I don't like that, because every single time, and until, like, the next update that fixes the patch, I won't be able to copy these prefabs over to there because dynamic objects are so broken. And it's specifically the textures. Like, if it just rotated a piece or two and didn't have this trouble where they just start jittering and freaking out, like, that's the only piece that's freaking out. It's the parent piece, and I don't understand why it's freaking out, but I could just realign it, and then that one that got rotated would be fine. So, like, I don't mind doing that eventually. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's what I need to do, is just place it, leave it messed up in certain areas. Oh man, I'm rotating by object. Okay. If I place it, and I switch to world rotation, right, and I fix all of these messed up rotations and everything later, ugh, that's not going to work either. I don't know, I think I'm going to have to manually rebuild this off stream. I don't want to bore you with doing that again. It's exactly the same as the building it the first time, so how about this? I'm going to snap this into position like that, and just, you know, select that one and deselect that one and delete it. Select that one and delete it. And just put a visual there so that whenever I create, like, thumbnails, oh right, I can't do that. I gotta do this. If I create a thumbnail for an image, it's in there in the background, at least close to correct. Like, if it's far enough away, you won't notice anything's super messed up about it. So at least for YouTube purposes, this will look decent. It just won't be at all ready to play. So that one, and deselect that, and then that one. Yeah, see, why did that change? Oh, dear Lord, what just happened? Okay, well, whatever, man. I don't know. This is so So buggy right now. See, look, that one just lost texture up there, and I don't understand why. I need my rail back, so I need to have something to snap to. Every single time I copy this, more of it breaks. Every single time I place down a prefab, more of that prefab breaks. That's a little weird. Okay, Okay, let's see. I think I'm just gonna be done with this structure for right now, because I'm kind of frustrated with it at the moment. I'll try and plop down one of them later once I've closed the game and reopened it off stream again, just to have all three of them there. That will give at least some semblance of, you know, logic. I think I need to put some yellow here. Like, I've got all this yellow all over the place for warning things. There's a lot of high electronic devices here. Like, this is a freaking magnetic accelerator cannon. It would kill you if you stood too close to it and it fired off and you had metal on you. Like, your dog tags would rip through your freaking throat if you were standing right next to this thing, probably, whenever it fired off. So we need some warning labels here, some yellow lines and stuff like that. Unless they use virtualized magnetic fields to counteract that, which is an actual thing that has been discovered recently on how to do, where you can use one magnetic field, you can use dynamic magnetic fields from different projections that will pull here and push there to cancel each other out until you end up creating a projected magnetic field away from where you are. Like, the center of the magnets of the magnetic field is away from your actual magnets. Like, it's not like looping through its coil. It moves the magnetic field away from your coils. And that's something that's real. That was discovered, how to pull that off recently, and it's so cool, to be honest. It's really cool. But yeah, like, this yellow is really cool. I like that. I might switch it to this exact yellow to make sure it matches, but it's really close already and decent enough. And then putting in, you know, some yellow lines here and there would work, and that will make it look like you're warning people. But from over here, it's closer to what it would look like in the end, and that's what we'll look at real quick for a second. It also kind of looks like NASA, like the scaffolding you would walk up and then walk across to get into it, which we still don't have something to get across into it. And this building is getting very, very, you know, like, lots of parts. So I'm beginning to think that Klen is going to have to not let... I was hoping we could animate them, have them rise up like the pump shroud does, but that might be super nasty looking, like gnarly, with you know, pieces popping in and stuff like that. And so what we might need to do instead, which would the only cool thing about that would be that whenever it switches to the Slayer mode, if you were like out in the middle of the field and you have this threshold, suddenly these buildings would rise up. But I think what he's going to end up having to do is somehow do a threshold between the two, like Slayer mode starting, everyone's equal starts, you can keep your weapons that you have, but everyone's moving back to bases. We could teleport everyone back to their bases and have the buildings rise up while you're in here, and just have them turn on, which would make it to where you come out and now there's a building there. You know what I mean? But I don't know which one he wants to do or which one he can pull off. I want to see how good his scripting is and how well he can handle it, because if he can make this rise up without looking bad, then that would be amazing. So, but that's going to be dynamic objects, unless he does it one building at a time. That's going to be all of these dynamic objects moving at one time on both sides of the map. That's a lot to be shifting all at once. There's also a maximum budget on number of dynamic objects you can place on the map, and I realize I'm getting really high cost on this building alone. And yeah, I need to copy it over, and I need to copy the other buildings over, so I need to stop this building. And I need to start doing other buildings so I can get closer, figure out exactly what my budget is. And I might need to settle with some stuff, but yeah, what is it? This is a dynamic object, I think, right now, and it doesn't need to be. In fact, it doesn't want. I don't want that to be. The floor of this is going to absolutely be static. because it doesn't move. Like, I was trying to get it to where it would open, to be like a door, and open up, and, you know, give the illusion that it was a hangar bay of some kind. Why is this? Jeez, that is really obnoxious how they scale sometimes. But anyway, now I can just do that. And I honestly could just make, like with the other ones, with all the other ones, there's just a solid floor underneath it, and that just becomes the floor of the building, like in here. I've just got this piece. That is the floor of the building, and it's what it rose out of before. And I just picked one that had like hatches and stuff like that looks kind of cool. Over here, I'm probably going to have to do the same thing. But what I can do is use these angles like I was doing before to sort of be like the threshold of the doorway sort of thing, and also frame a normal floor that might be inside that's a little different, but we'll see. But yeah, let's see. I'm still trying to think of how I'm going to restructure this. I think I'm definitely going to have to remove this. I like the idea of there being a doorway here that like goes out into the balcony. I may or may not do the same thing over here. I might put a window in instead. This is a door frame. This is a window. Let's see. Ranked free for all currently broken. Really? Shocker, I know. Yeah, exactly. And my response was, really? Not like, wait, what? Yeah. It is very unfortunate and embarrassing for their team to be like this, but it is what it is. They need to solve it. But yeah, okay. Let's see, only gives you 1 life, so you can't respawn. What? Wait. And we're sure that's a bug and not like we're trying this feature, it's ranked, therefore you get 1 try situation. Because that might be something that... Yeah, someone is mowing the lawn outside really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but hopefully that's not too loud. But yeah, okay. Let's see, it was like that last time it was in rotation 2. Well, maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's not a bug. In which case, you know, I'm sure people are thinking it's a bug because it sounds like a bug. But it also may be on purpose, you know what I mean? And if that's the case, it's a very weird choice. It's not intentional. Okay, well, if it's not intentional, then yeah, very weird choice anyway. It would have been a weird choice anyway. Okay, we gotta go by 5 degrees now until we actually line this up, I think. And this will also tell me how to line these side walls up, because this is gonna... Oh, actually, it must have been another 15. Is this gonna completely close up my potential hallway back here? Kinda, but not completely. Let's see. And I'm not sure I'm even going to do this. I'm just giving it a try, figuring out the shapes. This is like whenever I was doing the, boy, this is at 15 degrees. You know what? Just go back to there's at 5 degrees. Let's go back to 15, because I think that is still on a 15-degree angle. Oh. Like that. There we go. That is roughly what it would be. Not quite. And I would need to center them in the middle and then snap these to it, which would create a little back hallway that I was thinking I'd have a grav lift back here, or something to that effect. That would launch you up to here. And now we have an alarm going off. Okay, let's see. Alright, so if I did it like that, I think it would be kind of cool. I might still be able to do something like this with the catwalk in there and have these like windows part of the catwalk. It's not intentional, so lots of bugs. Oh man, I don't know what they're doing, man. They're really messing up a lot. You know what I mean? Would it be better with 2 doors, you think, or with a window on this side? Like with just like making it like a loop. Maybe it would be better as a loop. Getting to the actual roof would require you to come up through here. But if you want to, but this would be like the highest point you go up to normally. So Gravlift won't launch you all the way to the top, which would make it at least a little bit better to go a little higher. I think though that if I move all of these pieces at once, will I have trouble? I forget if this is going to if this is going to give me trouble. I just grabbed a mountain behind it. I don't want that. Forget if this is going to give me trouble or not. But those mountains were also like placeholder at the beginning, but like now I've sort of... The mountains themselves have grown on me, just the hills that are garbage, you know what I mean? Like the way that that works is fine. I just would want to put maybe something else behind them to make them not look like a thin facade of a mountain, you know what I mean? I want to mix it in, add some other objects behind it to make it actually make sense, you know what I mean? But anyway, they really do seem to embarrass themselves with every single update. Like what is going on? But such is life when you're dealing with very difficult proprietary systems. Why did I just grab this block like I thought I did? And contract workers. Like it's entirely the contract worker nonsense that's causing all of their troubles. I'm fully convinced. I'm very, very sure of it, that it's the fact that they do their contract workers. They have some people. They have a lot of people that are full time, obviously, but they don't have enough people that are full time. And video game companies these days way undervalue QA, like really insultingly undervalue it. Oh, that was my wife off screen. Yeah. Aaron said hello to whoever cleared their throat off screen. Make your own mountains. I wouldn't bother using terrain rugged scaled up like that. Yeah, I mean I probably will. I'm just, yeah. If I do continue, like keep this, what I would do is just keep it for like this area where the sand is inherited looks nice because it adds the desert sand up here in nice dynamic shapes. But I would add to this. I'd clip enough things into it that it would completely change how the mountain looks. You know what I mean? I also have literally nothing on it. There's like there's no dirt area where trees are growing out of it or anything like that. I've got nothing here to detail it, so it really is just a very basic layer. But you are right that I could just do that. I'm scared. I just realized I selected all of this and I was going to move it up, and then I don't even have my correct height yet for where I want it to be or anything. So I'm terrified to add this to a prefab, and so I can reselect it later because I have no idea what's going to happen whenever I unprefab that later, if the game will just break. So I'll just have to do it and see what happens. It didn't break. Okay. So it's just the saved off prefabs that have the trouble. Hopefully. I have no idea. But that's my... I have no real answer, but that seems like maybe what it is. Okay. So what I wanted to do was actually move this building because I don't like it being back and recessed like that. I was thinking about rotating it so that it faces sort of into the middle. So that basically, rather than facing the enemy base, they'll actually be facing each other, the two sniper towers, across from each other, you know? That was the idea. I'll also probably widen the base, at least to some extent. Like I might make a catwalk section that goes over to the larger section. But I want a base that allows you to like kind of go around the building if you need to, or if you feel like it. But there's not a lot going on behind the building or anything, but it's just, it would be good to be able to dip behind the building if like a tank comes at you or something. So I feel like if you can't get in the building, it'd be good to be able to hide behind the building. Yes, buddy. What's up? You want Master Chief? Your hair is a wreck. Play Master Chief. I taught you how to turn on the TV. Do you remember how to turn on the TV? Do you want to go give it a try? Try turning on the TV and the console yourself?
No.
No.
Daddy died.
The TV's dead? Oh, no, it's turned off, buddy. It's not dead. It's just turned off. Okay. Well, I will come and help you in just a minute, okay? Let me finish at least trying to reposition this building. Let's see, that TV better be set to filmmaker mode or else that's gonna bug me. I have a TV that has a problem where you can, on the remote control, hit a button if you're a child and reset everything to default settings. And every time I try to change it to something better, like a month or two later, they reset it. And we've had it since my daughter was like 1. So my first daughter was 1, I think, whenever we got it. So it's always been a problem. And they keep resetting it to default, and so I have given up on that battle, and it is at default right now. It's on power saving mode, in fact. I went, alright, they gave me the option of default or like store mode or power saving mode every time it resets. At least I'm gonna save money on electricity. Power saving mode. And I don't go into the settings beyond that. It's such a bad setup. I wish that I could go better, but eventually I'll figure out, like, eventually they'll be old enough to know not to press those things. My ears have been fully assaulted by hearing all of these things. Yes, I'm aware. It's so bad. Eco mode doesn't save power, by the way. Oh, I'm sure it doesn't. I have no idea. It probably just, like, I don't even know what it does. To be honest, I just went, well, at least I can maybe, you know, save some power or something. But you're right, it probably doesn't save power at all. I bet you're... it didn't even occur to me whether or not it was lying to me. I didn't care. I cared that little because of the fact that they were always resetting it on me. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, so this would be the catty corner sort of angle, which would also allow you to sort of guard your ramp. But I also don't especially like how close it is to this building. Those buildings are so far away. I kind of want this one to be more like this. You know what I mean? What do you think? It's of course now no longer pointing where the other sniper tower would be. It's now pointing a little off. So let's go ahead and say one more 5-degree turn, and that will point toward the mid. Well, it does not point toward the other sniper tower, but it points toward mid. Let's see, a proper setup would be warm. Oh wait, hold on. Eco mode has the wrong color temp and whacked up brightness, but has auto brightness adjustment enabled. A proper setup would be warm at low brightness. Gotcha. Excuse me. Yeah, that makes sense. I got an idea. This is going to be a split level base. That will allow me to make it really, really tall, and also connect to here. So I can build like a low base here, and then another ramp going up to another base. So I'll put some more concrete there, and then another ramp going to another base right there. These are dynamic, and I can delete them, and I can just use this one, because I already rotated it. Right, I'm off by 5%. Did my music just turn off? So my son came in to remind me that I'm getting close to the end of the stream. My music just turned off to remind me that I'm getting close to the end of the stream. Yeah, it's all getting kind of late in the day. I think that's all good reminders. Let's see. Well, time for you to buy a new TV. Yeah, right, I know, it is. I need one. We'll probably wait another couple of months, though. We might do that for Christmas this year, actually. I'll talk to my wife about that. She nodded no immediately. But yeah, no, it is definitely an issue. I think we don't. This is why she probably nodded no. I don't even have to ask her, actually. My kids are at throw things at TV age, and if they went and if we got a brand new TV and they broke it, it's like, why would we put a brand new TV in there? We still have a scapegoat that can survive. You know, that if it breaks, then we'll buy a new TV 100%. But we've got that sort of, you know, scapegoat still in the living room for while they're still toddlers throwing things at things. So maybe she's, you know, absolutely right, and we should not be buying a new TV right now. But yeah, I mean, that's the worst whenever someone throws something at TV and it cracks, especially right whenever it's brand new. It's like one of the worst feelings in the world. Like, you could have, like, you know, major trauma or hurricane hit or something like that, and it's still not as bad as a TV getting broken like that. It's just like, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding, of course, I'm exaggerating. But like, OLED panel, yeah, I agree. Maybe even like a curved display to be really high tech. Yeah, oh, apparently I missed some dynamic objects down here that are the floors. Maybe I will bring them back out of the prefab. Curved, stinky, I know. That's why I said that while looking at the camera, because I know that's actually not a great technology. Okay, and then it was one more turn of 5 degrees. It's a 15 and then a 5 degree. And hopefully this doesn't completely wreck all of their rotations. I missed this piece here completely. And you can't undo dynamic object rotations. So, fortunately, these were snapped into position. So I should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be the right amount, and then I just turn on snapping, and boom, there we go. Let's see, what TV do you even have? Oh man, I didn't even buy it for myself. It was a Christmas present from my in-laws. So like it's like specs I didn't know before I bought it, before we got it. You know what I mean? Oh boy, these didn't get moved with the rest. They did rotate. Does that make any sense at all? Or did they not rotate? They did not rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's snap this back into position. Okay, curious to see it. Right, maybe I can go figure out what it is and, like, put it in my Discord and then, like find an old ad for it, because I guarantee you they don't even sell this one anymore. It's so old. Because it's like, you know, 8 years old, something like that at this point. 7, something like that. But anyway, so I probably would have to find like some really old ad for it that's like on Newegg or something, because they actually keep up all of their old devices on there, even after they don't time them out and get rid of them. Which they're having financial trouble, I hear, and that they may go out of business, and that'll suck, because I need to go record what's in my computer again so that I don't have to. Okay, well, at least it's an LED. Yes, it is. It is an LED. It's like 40-something... No, 52 inches? 40-something inches? I forget how big it is now. It might be... It's at the upper end of 40 inches. You know what I mean? Like, it's close to 50 inches. I don't, or it is, or maybe right after 50. It may be just above 50 inches. I don't remember the exact size. I also haven't really been able to use it at all since we moved. I use it like one time to play Metroid Prime. But my kids have been using it like all the time. We don't have a couch anymore. We threw away the couch whenever we moved because it was so bad. We just were like, it's so heavy and bad, and we don't want to move with it. It had a fold-out bed that was like falling apart, so we haven't had a couch since we moved. That's the reason why I haven't really cared too much about to try and watch TV in the living room. So yeah, we've been waiting on getting a new couch just because we didn't feel like spending the money just yet. And we were like, well, we don't have the living room completely unpacked anyway, so let's just go ahead and not get a new couch just yet. So we've been holding off on that because of that. Once it's all unpacked, we'll finally get a new couch. That is too much. Not what I need to do. There we go. That's a little better. That one is higher than this one for some reason. I don't know why. So this is roughly where it will be. Let me grab this other junk and get it out the way. These are all pieces I was considering for things like the baseboard and stuff. Like, I really wanted basically that square and then these to be like doors that hinge right there, where I put another piece right there. It looked like a giant hinge, mechanical hinge, and they would hinge open, and then the building would rise up out of there. But yeah, I don't think I'm going the direction of this glass anyway, so I'll just delete those. These are kind of just junk, but I might want to copy them or move them somewhere and reuse them for something, so I will keep them because they're already dynamic objects and set up with the right color and everything. So yeah, this is more like where you're going to see the building. And you can see how tall it's going to be now. It's got towers over that area now, which is good because I was worrying that I had made this a little too tall before, and that it'd be too good of a sniper spot, but now it's kind of like hard to get good views anyway, good vantage points anyway, because of these gigantic extra bits up here. So it's not quite as good as a sniper tower as this one will be, and also this thing towers over that. And then the Forerunners still tower over this thing. Huge, you know, structures. I'm gonna guess it's either Samsung, Vizio, or TLC. I think it's either. I think it's Samsung. I'd have to go look. I'll run in there and look before I go off stream. I'm just checking out, not admiring. I'm checking out the height of this set. And technically, you could grapple shot up there, and I'm not gonna make that something that'll kill you. It'll practically kill you because you'll be a sitting duck. All you could do is drop off of it. You have no cover up there. So it'll practically kill you to go ahead and do that. You could even repulsor up onto this and get a little bit more height. But basically, you could get some pretty decent vantage points from up here. But yeah, now this thing can see over to that building, and then the other sniper tower has a little bit of cover between the two, so you can do some sniper battles, because these towers are it's actually gonna be like right there. So those two towers in the middle, you're gonna be able to sort of like be like, oh shoot, and get behind it to break their line of sight, and you know, use what's actually on your building to do that as well. So this works out. And if you don't come up here to the roof, and you're at roughly, let's see, the floor will be roughly around here, you'll have even more, because that central structure there, that central, like, you know, piece right there of the central structure will actually block line of sight even better between the two pieces, the two areas, because this will roughly be where the floor is. So if you go all the way to the roof, you'll be like roof to roof dueling. But yeah, so snipers will be able to fight each other a bit, and they'll be able to try and dominate the arena, and when they're distracted, the other sniper can kind of take them out, that sort of thing. And this will be pretty cool. And I think that building there, see, this building is going to rise up and provide cover. It'll get about this tall, roughly. I'm pretty sure that's the horizon point where it would be, the roof of it would be. So it will actually block line of sight directly to the doorway, and the two doorways of that building, which will be perfect, roughly. It might be you might be able to see over it, but that triangular shape will actually come up and sort of add to the height right there. So yeah, anyway, the point is that'll come up and be like cover for your other buildings, and so enemy snipers will get cut off, and then of course you're flying up out of the middle of the base of the map, so like you have to like deal with people trying to shoot you down, so the flying vehicles won't be too OP. Anyway, okay, if it's a Samsung, it will have movie mode, so whack it in that. Okay, I will do that. Because yeah, if I could just like drop it into another mode that immediately makes it better, that would be cool. I didn't know it didn't save money either. Like, it's eco mode, so I assumed that would be like, you know, save at least a little bit of money. But if that's not true, then there's no point to keeping it in eco mode, so I'll definitely do that. I'm gonna run in there and check it, and then I'm gonna sign off for the day because it's 1:49. Because I'm also kind of curious now. I don't remember what the brand even is. I'll be right back. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Seeing the brand, I immediately am reminded that it is kind of like economy Samsung. It's Westinghouse, which I believe is bad. It's like it's low, but it's like mid, like Not like mid is in what the slang says is actually terrible, but mid is in like literally middle of the line, like not the worst TVs, but definitely not among the best companies. If it's a budget non-HDR LED, then brightness should be topped out around 250 nits. Okay. But yeah, so it's Westinghouse, which, like I said, yeah, I think it's like the warehouse practically version of Samsung, like the cheapo one. But yeah, so this map is honestly, from an aerial view, looking really cool to me. Like, I'm liking the way it looks. It kind of feels like a Halo Wars map almost. Show me the settings and I'll set it up, lol. Okay, I'll figure that out. I'll send them to you in chat and stuff like that. Because it's all the way in another room. I can't do that in here remotely on stream. So, and I don't think that's what you were even suggesting. But yeah, I'm really, honestly, like, I'm looking at the map from overhead like this. I'm really liking its layout, to be honest. And I can't wait to see, like, really, you know, see it finished. Even as just a regular big team battle map, it'll be really interesting. I'll definitely completely retool how it's balanced, where things spawn, you know, and all that kind of stuff for the regular big team battle map, because unlocking buildings is not something that's in regular big team battle, so that wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, and actually with these new like launchers here, I like these towers even more. I don't think I'm gonna leave them white anymore. They kind of stand out weirdly. I might do something like green to make it look like almost like two more pieces of these rail systems, like something to balance it before it launches, or something to that effect. We'll sort of figure that out as we go a little bit. But yeah, I am kind of liking this. I think maybe the antenna could just be over here, so flight control would be from the main base, and this is mainly for launching. You know what I mean? Like, this is the launch zone, not the flight control. You don't have NASA's flight, you know, NASA's headquarters, you know, yeah, command is definitely way far away from the launch zone. They can see it out a window. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'll send you, I'll try and get the settings for it. This whole time, by the way, I just want to show you, this is something that's been going on. The viewership flatlined at 1, but it says concurrent viewers 2 right now, and it's been going up and down right here. The views have gone up. It stayed steady, like right here, but for some reason it's been saying it's just 1, and like, I have to wonder if like these bugs in YouTube aren't going to affect becoming monetized eventually, like the number of views. Like, I'm getting way more views than subscribers. Like, I mean, I'm growing faster in views. I'm gonna hit the 10,000 views, I think, way earlier than I hit the 1,000 subscribers. Unless I make a viral video or something that just not viral necessarily, but viral among like the Halo crowd, to where 1,000 people immediately subscribe to me. In which case, I might hit that other one. I know, play Master Chief. But so like, basically, barring a miracle, I'm probably gonna hit that 10,000 hours. Is it 10,000? I don't remember what it is. Whatever the threshold is there on views. Way before I hit the subscriber count. But I wonder if this wouldn't affect people who are the other way around, who get subscribers faster but don't get as many views, and I'm kind of weirded out by it. Anyway, I was just pointing that out because it was interesting, and it was right there, and I was still on stream and haven't signed off yet. So anyway, yeah, I'll catch you later, Aaron, and everybody else. So yeah, see ya.